Well, hello, everybody. Are you ready for the best damn show of your life? Definitely way better than anything Josh can produce. We're up and away. It is Pundit Punts today. We are into it, and I do have a special guest. He is coming on to give us all of his expert tips because he is tied for the lead.
Nobody picked me.
Aaron's bitter.
I'm gonna win. I'm winning this thing. Prove them all wrong.
That is so funny. I love the fact that it definitely got you rolled up.
Hey, I'm motivated. It's motivation. That's what it is.
Yep. That's fantastic. Now, it is quite interesting because we're up and away. You and I tied on 7 points, then Victor on 6, Harry all over, and John on 5. And Paddy is very slow out of the gates on 2, but we do know how he comes home. So it is very exciting. There's been lots happening, actually, around the leagues and this, that, and the other. So what we might do is we might jump straight in, get these tips out of the way, and then get into some other news. So we'll get into it. What I'm going to do today, Aaron, is I'm going to let you pick first because I know Harry all over has been a bit late. He's going to get his in tomorrow and Victor as well. But John, Paddy, and I all have our tips in.
Okay.
And so what I'm going to do is rather than reveal them to you, I'm going to let you pick your results, and then I will reveal mine, Paddy's, and John's. So we'll start off. What you have here is Borough at home to West Brom.
I'm going with a 1-0 Borough win.
1-0 Borough. Okay, let's have a look at this. Let's get it up there. 1-0 Borough, and then I will reveal straight away. So John's gone 2-1 Borough, Paddy's gone 1-0, same as you, and I've gone 2-0 Borough. So we're all Borough fans for this match. Not surprisingly, they're top of the table.
Yeah.
At home.
Yeah.
Now, next up, mate, QPR v Stoke.
I've gone with 2-2.
Desmond.
Yep, Desmond.
Okay. Let's have a look at the boys here, the rest of us. Well, 2 other draws. John and I have gone 1-1, and Paddy thinks Stoke's going to get it done away, 2-1. Interesting. So, chance there for Paddy to catch up or fall further behind.
That's right.
Now, this one's an interesting match, Birmingham v Swansea. I actually watched Swansea play Nottingham Forest this morning, and, yeah, I'll come on to that a little bit later, but it was a good match. Yeah, okay, so what do you got for us here, mate?
I'm going with a 1-1.
Draw. Interesting. Yep. Okay. Now, I'm assuming John's probably tipped Swansea. Let's have a look. No, he's tipped Birmingham 2-0. Paddy's tipped Birmingham 1-0. And I've gone the same as you. I've gone a 1-1 draw. I was impressed with Swansea this morning, just saying. But there's more to come on that later. So, yeah, Leicester v Coventry. Interesting matches. Both teams are able to score.
Yeah, this will be a good one. That'll be real fun. That'll be a real fun one to watch. I'm gonna take Leicester 2-1. I think just because of the home advantage, I think they'll just get it over the line.
That is a fair call. And John's gone a high-scoring affair. Leicester 3-2. Paddy's gone the other way. Coventry 3-1 win away from home, and I've gone for Leicester for a 2-0 win. I just think their quality is going to shine through.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Blackburn v Ipswich. This is another interesting match with Ipswich travelling away to Blackburn.
I'm going with Blackburn 0, Ipswich 2.
Ipswich to get it done away from home for you, mate.
Yep.
Okay, let's have a look here at the boys. John has done this. John and Paddy are on board with you, ironically, and I have gone a 2-1 win for Ipswich away, I think. So we've all tipped them to get the job done away from home, interestingly enough. Okay, Derby v Preston.
I'm going with another 1-1.
Another 1-1. There were a lot of draws last week.
Yeah, there were.
Yeah, so this will be interesting to see how that plays out this week. Whether, oh my God! So I've gone 1-1, John's gone 1-1, and Paddy has gone 2-1 for Preston to get it done away from home. Interesting. There's some more interesting matches coming at the bottom of this. It is a hard week, to be honest. Hull at home to Southampton.
I'm going with Southampton to get the 2-1 win. So 1-2 on them.
1-2, yep. And then the rest of us so far.
No.
John and I have tipped that as well. And Paddy has gone Desmond 2-2. Now, here's one. Portsmouth at home to Sheffield Wednesday. It'll be interesting. Do you think Sheffield Wednesday can get their first win of the season, Aaron?
I'll try to find it. Where did I have it? I've got it. Oh, there it is. No. Yeah, I'm definitely going Portsmouth 2-0.
I thought that was going to be your response, but I thought I'll at least give you the opportunity to.
Yeah, I knew I wasn't going to give them a win. I just couldn't remember what I tipped.
And a lot of similar results there. John and Paddy 2-0, and I've gone 3-0. I think Portsmouth's going to absolutely knock this one. Now, how's this pronounced? I know a bit of controversy.
Norwich.
Actually, why don't I leave it till last? I'll leave it till last. Interesting.
Okay.
Bristol at home to Oxford United.
Bristol, Oxford. Okay, I've got Bristol 3, Oxford 1.
Okay, let's have a look here. The boys, all of us. Okay, John 3-0, me 3-0, and Paddy 2-0. So all tipping Bristol. I mean, they've looked really good, haven't they?
Yeah, they have.
Yeah. Yep. And then we got 2 games left. So Millwall at home to Watford. It's a fortress at home for every other team that goes there.
Yeah, so far. I'm going with a 1-1.
1-1. Okay. Let's have a look here. Revealing the other games. John's gone 1-1. I've tipped Millwall to get their first win at home this season, 1-0, and Paddy has gone 2-0. Now,
I'm not positive, but I think John may have copied my homework.
I'm just looking at that. You and John, let's have a look.
This guy.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 out so far. So far, 5 out of the 12 games. You've got the same tips. Now, this wasn't a setup either, guys. John got his tips into me. I've put them in the table and hidden them. Aaron hasn't seen them. No. And yeah, so interesting. So let's go. Last one. Norwich v Wrexham, Aaron.
Well, I still, this is probably more heart over head, but I'm going with Norwich 1, Wrexham 2.
Norwich 1, Wrexham 2. And then the reveal. We got any controversy here? John 2-1 Norwich. Paddy 2-1 Wrexham. I have gone against our team. 2-1.
Fair enough. Yeah.
And John's saying that, and you're more than welcome to come in, John, if you want. If you're awake. I thought you were in better sleep. Maybe he couldn't help it. He must be lying in bed. Yeah, he must be lying in bed. So, yeah, but I have put the link for John and Victor in the Discord if they do want to come in. But I'll tell you what, there are, as much as I would like to see. And look, I hope I'm wrong on the Wrexham Norwich result. I'll just say that.
Yeah. Who knows? It's not the end of the world, but I'm going to be a tough away match. Obviously, we've not been playing fantastically, but we are getting some players in. We're getting some players back, I guess. And we'll see. I liked what Parky had to say today in the leader. Talking about maybe changing things up a little bit. Which let
me just come off this, and I'll get it off the screen.
Yeah,
so you and I on 7, as you can see up here, up above there. You can see that there and there,
Yep.
because only the first week that counts. Obviously, Victor on 6. The whole of you and I are beating the whole of South America. Just saying.
That's right. I'm beating him.
Yep. Harry all over and John on 5. John's looking like he's going to get beaten by a bot. And Paddy and Paddy on 2. But do not discount Paddy. He will come back. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. He'll start cheating at some point. If you remember, I think it's what he did last year. He was way behind. He was actually behind us pretty far for a while. And then just out of nowhere, just took off.
I've still got that spreadsheet somewhere. I should go back and have a look. But I do know that you and I did start early, and I have mentioned that. So, yeah. Well, let's get on to I'll quickly cover off other stuff before we get on to our team. There's been 4 games this week in the Carabao Cup, midweek games, obviously. So these teams, they didn't really influence me in my tips for this week. I mean, Brentford and Aston Villa played, obviously 2 Premier League teams, and Brentford won 4-2 on pens after 1-1 at full time. So, that would have been a great match to watch. I didn't get to see it. Sheffield Wednesday were at home to Grimsby Town, and Grimsby Town has come and got the job done 1-0. Yeah. So not great news for Sheffield Wednesday. Then Crystal Palace at home to Millwall. Millwall put up a really good show there, got a 1-1 draw, but then lost 4-2 on pens. And then the match that was on this morning, which I watched, Swansea v Nottingham Forest. I'm going to tell you, Swansea looked way better than us. Now, Ange Postecoglou, who's taken over at Nottingham Forest, who obviously is the Australian national coach, and obviously so I have a bit of a soft spot for him, had made 10 replacements. They were up 2-0 and had Swansea totally covered. They were absolutely in total control of that match. And then Swansea just got a couple of opportunistic goals, a great header from Cameron Burgess, Australian defender, off a corner, just saying, But there was another one, and then they brought on their leading striker, and I can't quite pronounce his name, but he scored a great deflecting goal, a kick-on goal, just off. He got around in front of his man, and then to win them, and they've won the match 3-2. But beyond the score, just their play, oh my God, they are going to, if we play like we have been, they are going to tear us apart. We have to improve. I'm just saying, we have to improve. Otherwise, Swansea is going to do us and do us good. Yeah. Yep. So
I haven't watched them play yet this season, so I'll have to check them out.
Yep. And they're going away to Birmingham this week.
Speak of the devil.
On that note, here he is. Good morning.
Yeah, it is morning. You're right. Yes.
Yeah. Mate, did you watch Swansea v Nottingham Forest?
No, I saw bits of it.
You got your hands full this weekend.
If you say so.
They played very, very well.
Yeah, so do we at home.
Okay. No, good to be confident.
That's why I gave you guys the draw instead of the loss.
Yeah, I could see a draw. We're just the style of play. We're just very strong at home.
Second, boys.
Oh yeah, you're good.
Yeah. No, I think we're quite strong at home, and the way we play suits us. So and Swansea will allow us to play as well. So they won't be sort of aggressive in your face, direct, kick us. They want to play, we'll want to play. So it should be a good game of football.
So I guess here's the real question. Since we were just talking about it, are you going to be able to beat Harry all over, or are you going to lose to Bigfoot in the tipping competition?
I think it'll be fine. Pretty confident.
I mean, he's even with you right now.
Yeah, but that's because the scores got reset. If you want to go back to the scores they were before, he wasn't particularly close to me, was he? What's the great saying? A broken clock is right twice a day.
There you go. Fair enough. I'm gonna tell you, if anybody, you know what's gonna end up happening. I'm gonna end up getting beat. I'm gonna be the one that ends up getting beat by Harry all over, and I'll be really upset about it.
I think that'd be hilarious.
I'm going to say you're on the defensive already, claiming I've copied you. You know, even though I gave Ken my tips like hours ago.
Likely story. No.
I'm actually going to not offer any evidence on that. I'm just going to leave it out there for everybody to decide.
See, Aaron's done the worst thing ever. You've gone with heart over head.
I had to.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it, John.
No. I mean, I have to say, I was tempted to put a draw, but I just kind of thought away from home. Norwich are good at home, and I watched the Ben Bloom and Sam Parkin video earlier where they were going through their predictions, and Sam Parkin reeled off some of the stats about the amount of shots and the amount of chances that you guys have conceded. It's horrific. I didn't realise it was that much. Yeah. And I just thought, if you give Josh Sargent enough chances, that's not going to end well. It's not
a great sign, is it?
No, and I'm going to say, as we said on Champ Chat, he's, a lot of people say he's got to make loads of changes and bring in some of the new players, but that's always the danger. You make a lot of changes, you'll get a very disjointed performance. And
well, here's my argument on that. I want to bring him in as soon as possible, because the sooner he brings them in, the sooner they gel, and I'll take a couple of losses in the meantime.
Yeah, it's like I said last night. He's kind of backed himself into a bit of a corner, hasn't he? Where you would have said the QPR game was the perfect game to bring some of those players in and play. Do you really want to have to bring them in a really tough away game away at Norwich? It's not the sort of game any manager would really look at that and go, do you know what? That's the perfect time to bring in four new players or whatever, So, but he's kind of put himself into a corner where I think he might have to.
Or change formation.
He isn't changing formation. Come on now.
Come on.
He might.
There's a pig.
To be fair, the one thing I would say is we as football fans get so hung up on formations. I mean, formations are a load of rubbish, to be honest, because it's never a set, 3-5-2.
No,
I mean,
you're always moving.
Yeah. I mean, we play on paper. You look at our setup. We play a 4-2-3-1 essentially. It's not. It's a 4 at the back when we don't have the ball, but when we have the ball, our right back plays pretty much as a right winger, so we go to a 3 at the back. So, it's never so simple, is it? So
no. Well, look, let's get on to some other news. And Aaron, I'm going to let you cover this one.
Okay. Glad to hear from Sean that Kabore was not late, and that was all just a rumor. I'll give you the quote from Sean. It was on the Kabore rumors. What a load of dosh. That was his reply to that. No, he was very clear that he was not late. The issue was that because he had just gotten back, his first day back was the day before the game from being on international duty. Basically, Parky asked him how he felt, because it was basically either either gonna put him on the bench or not at all, just keep him off completely, depending on how he felt. And he came in and said he felt okay, and so he put him on the bench. But I think Parky was always going to play that one safe. No sense in playing, because I don't even think he's taken training with the team, or hadn't at the time, hadn't had a training session with the team yet. So, no reason to rush him in. And then I've got loads of other stuff from Sean Harvey.
Hit us with it. It's just on the FID podcast.
So this is on, credit to Fearless and Devotion. They had they dropped a podcast today that I assume, it was definitely filmed post this weekend because the result, it was after that. So at some point this week they filmed it. Could have been today. I'm not sure, but they dropped it today. And so here's some quotes from Sean Harvey, and I'll start with the targets for the season. So the first quote I pulled was, "The objective of this season is to just finish as high as we can." We don't really know how good everyone else is. We're satisfied that we've given ourselves the best chance at being successful as far as how much money they spent. He said, as far as the championship goes, it's an impossible field to be able to predict. And basically he was talking about where we would end up, where we were going to land. We just weren't sure how we're going to stack up to everybody. They need to see, you know what I mean? He wants to see what we look like.
I'm just going to say right now, thank you, Sean Harvey. That means my table predictions do not matter because it's impossible to predict.
That's right. That's right. He also said, and because of that, because it is an impossible field to predict, he said, and that's why it's wrong to say we need to be in the playoffs, or we need to be in the top half, or we need to consolidate and avoid relegation, or we need to win it by 20 points. So basically, there's no hard, fast, this is what we want to do this year. Basically, it's we want to do as well as we possibly can do. And they feel very confident that they've got enough to definitely stay up. I think that's where they're at.
Okay, so we'll just jump onto that for a second. Mm-hmm. John, your thoughts on that statement?
Fairly sensible. I think it screams the ambition this season is mid-table, without wanting to say mid-table, because you only come out with a statement like that when you are fairly confident you got enough to avoid relegation, but you're also fairly confident you're not going to be in the top 6 hunt, but you're also not edging your bets and putting all your eggs in that basket. You're basically saying, we think we'll finish mid-table, but if the unthinkable happens and we actually do somehow manage to find ourselves in the promotion push, we're not going to put that added pressure on the team, the manager, or anyone, or get the expectation of the fans up. So it's a fairly sensible, football savvy comment from him. To be fair,
he's just taking the pressure off everybody right there. Hasn't he?
Yeah. He also said he went on to say, so we've got to finish as high as we can and use the experience to learn if we don't get promoted, what do we actually need to get promoted? So basically, assuming we stay in the division, which we know we're going to be staying in the division, we want to use it as an experience to learn what we need to get promoted. And then he went on to say, so we've effectively got a season-long free hit. That's what he's called it.
Can I just point the most obvious thing? Never, ever, ever say that you're just we're definitely going to stay up. Especially from a fan that
he didn't say that. I said it. That was me.
No, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. As a fan, never, ever, ever put your eggs in that basket, because trust me,
fair enough.
This game will bite you on the ass when you least expect it.
Aaron, we're definitely going up.
Yeah, that sounds like it. Basically, we're on a free hit this year. Let's just do as well as we can and see where we're at, and go again next summer, and and figure out what we need to improve the squad. He did go on. He did say we're probably won't see a turnover of players like we did this. You're not going to see that again anytime soon. He said that was probably a one-off, but he likened it to the first season in the National League, where they basically turned the whole squad over, ended up having a really good season, but didn't quite get up, and then they went again the next season and were able to get up. And so that's kind of where he was at with it as far as targets this season.
Yep.
And then if you want to move on, we'll get into the Parky stuff, which he came out fairly strong about the Parky stuff. So when he was they asked him directly, we saw that, they asked him directly about the TalkSport article that had come out I think it was Sunday or Monday, that had said there would have been meetings, about Parky's future and all this. And so he said it's an absolute disgrace because clickbait journalism is the new world scourge. It's just nonsense.
Love it. I love it.
Because it's easy to build a story that suits an agenda. And then on Phil, more directly, this is going to be, he goes into it pretty deeply, and I just went ahead and wrote it all down. He said, Phil has everybody at the club's full support. And no, before someone starts to write that Harvey gives Parkinson the vote of confidence, it's not the vote of confidence. What I'm saying is he's got our full support. You can only give someone the vote of confidence if you've actually discussed their future. And it's not even been anywhere near the agenda as of yet. Phil's our man. We've backed him from the start. We've backed him for 4 years ago. Why should we start panicking now? Because you can probably gather the disdain I hold for the whole matter.
Okay.
He said he needs to be given time to move us back up the table and give us the best chance at success to finish as high as possible. On the day we have a problem, we'll deal with it then. But gosh, we're a long way from that at the moment. That's what he said. So he's very clear. Phil is under no pressure at the moment. I mean, sure, nobody's happy with 4 points. We'd like to be doing better, but they're not sacking Parky after, 5 minutes. Even if we get smashed in the weekend, Parky's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Your thoughts on those statements, John?
Typical what you would expect, really. I mean, let's be honest. Does anyone really expect him to come out and say he's under pressure? Or even if he was under pressure, he wasn't going to come out and say that. He was going to stick to the party line. And he can say all he likes about, they back him, he's our man and he's there for ages and all that. 3-4 games in football and a long time. And like I've said, if he loses 3 out of the next 4, I'm not saying he's going to be sacked, but there will be questions. And, that party line of, he's not under pressure. He's going to be here for the, it's all clickbait, blah, blah, blah. Trust me, if he loses 3 out of the next 4 and you go into the next international break in the bottom 3, there'll be questions because there will be, because that's football. But yeah, it's exactly what you'd expect to hear from him.
Well, you've just covered the question I was going to ask you is what do you think? And you've answered that really well. My thing on this whole scenario right now is what you've got to remember is shows like TalkSport, any YouTube channel, anything, the whole purpose of them typically is to get viewership. So how do you get viewership? You say something controversial. Now, whether it's true or not is irrelevant. The job of that channel / TV show / radio show, whatever, is to get ears and eyes on them. So, because that's how they make money. So that's what they do. So I'm of the opinion that he will not go even if we lose 3 of the next 4, John. Yeah, I think there'll be I think the question will be, what's going wrong? What have we got to do to fix it? I don't think it'll be we've got to replace Parky.
No,
but that's my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
No, yeah, I think what I mean when I say questions, it will be people always get fans. We all do it. We always get fixated on results, don't we? If you lose 3 out of the next 4, for example, but don't play badly, and you can actually see a progression in performances, there'll be concerns over the results. But you would say you're on the, you feel you're on the right path. What I mean is if you lose 3 out of the next 4 and the trend continues where you're conceding a lot of goals and there doesn't seem to be a progression in performances, then not, like I said, that it won't be sort of we need to replace him. It will be very much of a what's going wrong, and then there'll be a target set for, another block of games. So, okay, by the end of this next block of games, we need to see, more points, better performances than that. And then after that block of games, if they haven't been, if those targets haven't been reached, then the serious questions probably start to happen.
And it's interesting, like, you say the next 3 out of 4, and you sometimes say, oh, we're in a hard run of games. You're in the championship. It's always a hard run of games.
Yeah.
And these next 4 games are away to Norwich, home to Derby, away to Leicester, and then home to Blues. So the only one you could say you're definitely going to win there is at home to Blues.
You probably will, in all fairness.
Read here, clickbait.
Yeah. You probably beat Leicester out of all them. That's
all right.
That's the championship, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And it's interesting because, and this is my argument around get the players in, get them playing, get them used to playing together. So at least if you do lose 3 out of the next 4 games, but like you said, John, we start to play well. And interestingly, I see Wayne is in the chat here and he's ducking in and out of work. Had a good chat to him this morning about this stuff. And this is coming from a professional footballer, and he's like, when players are gassed, get them off the field. It doesn't matter how old you are, and it doesn't matter whether you're not used to the system yet or not. If you're good enough, you play. If you're brought in, you just get them on the pitch. And that's a guy that has played at the very top level of professional football. So, all the armchair experts haven't lived it. He's lived it.
I think the other major caveat in all this is I see a lot of talk about gelling and players getting used to it and players getting fit and all this sort of stuff, and which is absolutely true, but also don't write off that everyone else in the division has also got the same problems and the same things. So it's more of a sort of don't be, everyone else is going to get better as well. So don't put all your eggs into the basket that suddenly after 10 games suddenly you're going to be like a top 4, top 5 side. The whole division progressively gets better. So
exactly. And if you don't, you go backwards. If you're standing still, you go backwards.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So so that was it was a really interesting chat with Wayne this morning. It's a shame he can't get on at different times because it is a real coming from a level of knowledge that is just that most of us don't have. Most people haven't played any professional sport at a top level. Now he's played not football but rugby league at a top level, and I've played individual sports at a top level, but not team sports. So there's that whole gel factor of that that I obviously don't have a knowledge of. I think it's Matt L saying, I have a feeling Wrexham will win this weekend. I hope you're right, Matt L, and my tip's wrong. I'll take that one on board. Yeah.
I hope you're right too, because that means I get points and nobody else does.
Is that true? It is. It absolutely
I tipped it. Yeah.
Yeah. God. Okay. No. Paddy's gone 2-1 Wrexham.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah, Paddy's gone 2-1.
Well, he's far enough down there. He'd be all right.
Yeah.
He's not a threat to me yet.
He hasn't started cheating yet, has he?
No.
And we haven't got South America's tips or Harry all overs. But what's interesting is, John, is that Aaron and I are beating all of South America. I'm calling it all of South America now. The whole of South American football we're beating, and you're only 1 point behind them.
Take that. I'll take being behind South America. It's not usually a bad thing.
You're 1 point behind Brazil, Argentina, Colombia.
Yeah, the Argentina one is a bit sore. Won't lie about that one. But no, we're in jest.
Yep. So no, it was a very but talking about South American football, the Brazilian players that were on the pitch this morning, Swansea v Nottingham Forest. Yeah, and interesting to see the way Nottingham Forest played, considering they're now under the guidance of Ange Postecoglou, and I really hope he has a good season and just goes a big to Tottenham. That is my hope for him this year. But anyway, so yeah, interesting. What any other interesting news you've got there, Aaron? Or are we?
Was there anything else? I think I might have hit them all. Did I talk about the Callum Doyle yet?
No.
I know we talked beforehand. I don't think I said it on the pod. On Callum Doyle, Sean did say, because I know a lot of people are talking about the buyback clause that City have for him.
Yes.
But basically, he said on it, if they operate the buyback clause, we're going to make a very tidy profit. He said so, and then he kind of went on to say that, also if they do, it's because he's doing really well and we're doing really well. So it's won't be a bad thing if they do decide to go with buyback. So there was that, and then was another he kind of threw it in when he was talking about the targets for the season. And I wrote it down because I thought it was funny because it's just a topic that we all talk about a lot. Is basically, here's the quote. It was, everyone has opined on Phil gradually introducing the players into the squad. He said there's a reason for that. It works. So that's kind of where he was at on the gradual bringing the players in.
And I'm on the total opposite of that.
Right.
And what would I know? But that's my opinion, And,
yeah, that was his quote. And I only wrote that one down just because I knew it was something that we talk about all the time. You know what I mean?
You wanted to make me look bad,
especially right now. No, because I'm with you. I to get them in there.
Okay.
But they to each their own. They got their own way of doing things.
The ideal situation is probably somewhere in the middle, isn't it?
Probably.
You don't just bring one or two. You bring a few in, and
well, let's face it. The ideal situation is you bring a guy in, you have a win, your team's traveling well, you're playing well. You bring another guy in, you're still winning. That's your ideal situation, but we're not winning.
No. I mean, managers tend to stick with the core, don't they? So the middle of the team tends to stay the same. So if you've got new players dotted around that, you'll probably find they will find their way into the side quite quickly. But I guess when it comes to changing sort of central defenders and central midfielders and stuff, that's where Parkinson, being a bit old school, it will take time for those positions to change, shall we say.
Yep.
Well, and he was talking about, I know Josh did a show, what was it, yesterday or maybe the day before?
He's
talking
at work
about Ben Sheaf.
Yeah,
work in Cancun.
Who goes to Cancun for work? Come on.
He's definitely working. Anyway, no. He did a show and Parky was talking about Ben Sheaf and getting him in, and basically just saying they're trying to get him back to full fitness and getting him back at match ready, because I guess he's just not had a lot of minutes. They wanted to get some minutes in his legs before they brought him in.
So I was just reading the comment from Black Canvas there.
Yeah.
I just think once Virgil van Dijk turns 40, Parky will replace Cody with him. Now, actually, on Cody, back to that point about, obviously, if they do activate the buyback clause, it means we make a nice tidy profit, and they would only be activating that if they're seeing on Doyle, not Cody. My apologies.
Doyle.
Yeah, if they activate the buyback clause on him, it means because he's been going well, ergo probably we've been going well. Now, in a bigger picture of that, like, that's a way for clubs to make money, obviously, John, and different clubs in this league have different agendas. Some are trying to get to the Premier League, some are just trying to avoid relegation, and some are working the system to make money along the way. Now, of that, I mean, are there any clubs in this league that stand out to you as a club that sort of has a history of making money out of players on a regular basis?
Norwich, Bristol City tend to have done it in the past.
Yep.
Dare I say, a lot of the parachute teams, they will tend to buy players, or it's one of those, because they yo-yo. What tends to happen, they go up, the better players then tend to get Premier League moves, they come back down, and then they end up buying the best Championship players, and the whole cycle continues.
Yeah.
I think with the Doyle one, the only thing that I would say a negative is, it's going to sound stupid, but it's Man City.
Mm-hmm.
Now, had it been any other big top club, I don't think I would have even given this a second thought. But Man City and PSR, if there is an opportunity that, I understand what you're saying, that you guys do well and Doyle's doing well. But if Man City can make a profit on him by buying him back and then selling them again in the summer, for argument's sake, they're the sort of club I think would do it from a PSR point of view. Whereas I think if it had been a Liverpool or somebody like that, if they could make a small profit, they probably wouldn't do it. But Man City may look at it and say, well, if we can turn a quick 5 million quid on PSR, every little helps. Whereas somebody like Liverpool wouldn't care about that. They'd rather make a big profit should he go for much more money, say a year or two down the line. That would be my only slight concern, that it's a bit Man City, and with all the off-field issues they've had, they aren't going to turn down the opportunity to make a bit of money, are they?
Sure. Yep. No, that's a fair point. So yeah, I mean, I was just just that Doyle quote sort of piqued my interest in that regard, to the fact of clubs that can turn 10 million in a year out of players. That's totally doable.
I think Millwall have probably been the most successful ones at doing it in probably the last couple of seasons. They've sold a few of their players for big money. I think I read somewhere that they've raked in is it 30 odd, between 30 and 40 million quid in the last couple of seasons from player sales.
Yeah, so even if you call that 20 million, right? And then you've got your TV money from being in the championship, you've got all your gate takings from the year, and you're turning a nice tidy profit. As an owner, you're probably going, well, I don't want to go through the pain and suffering of being in the Premier League, when I can just run my club as a business, and still have a very successful team in a great league. So not that I'm saying that's what I would want to do, and it's clear that's not what Rob and Ryan want to do. They want to get all the way to the top, and more power to them for it.
Yeah, there's definitely been a shift in the Championship in the last 3 years, I would say, that going back to, if we probably go back 5 years ago, it was a bit of a basket case league where everyone was just basically spending like crazy, and that's where you would find it. I mean, we were the first ones to get done for points deductions for PSR, or FFP as it was called back then, and you've had a few over the time, whereas it looks like
not the cheat, John, you're the cheat.
Yeah, we were the first one. We were the first British or English club to get done for it. 9 points. So yeah. There's some funny stories I'll tell you offline about that. But no, in the last couple of seasons, I think the penny's dropped, and I think there's a lot of clubs that are actually trying to run that way inclined, where buy not cheap, but buy in cheaper and then sell big and then progress that way. A bit like, I suppose the perfect example is Brentford. Brentford did it for probably 2-3 seasons before they got promoted to the Premier League, where essentially they brought players in for low money. Essentially, it got missed out on promotion, then sold the best players for absolutely oodles of cash, which in a sense created a parachute payment themselves. They were selling them for that big money, and then eventually got them up. So that's probably the perfect storm that every, shall we say, self-sufficient club is probably aiming to do. It's just it's very hard to do.
Well, interestingly enough, on this topic in Australia, one of the teams that Wayne Evans used to play for did get done. Down here, there's salary cap. So you obviously can only spend so much on your players. And there's actual proof of those guys, buying their players houses, fishing boats, all sorts of different stuff, to keep them under the salary cap. And but anyway, that's a whole nother story. I see Paul said maybe they shoot hair coloring commercials in Cancun. Probably. All I would say, probably. I'm pretty certain of it. And Black Canvas has said, don't worry, John, with Macca in the lineup, City won't be buying back Doyle.
You watch him have a 9 out of 10 performance this weekend just to shut everyone up. So.
Well, I tell you, if anybody could get the hairs up on the back of his neck, it definitely is McLean. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, now, have you got anything else in your comments there, Aaron, or are we?
Nope, I'm done. That was all I pulled it out of it. So,
did we want to cover off anything else today? I did see a comment back up there earlier. Someone asking what they thought the lineup. Oh, there it is. Paul Kelly. Who do you think the starting lineup this will be for this weekend? Is what he's asking.
Yeah, I don't know.
Tough one. Who's
I don't know.
You like our my side, Aaron. I don't know. John's just laughing. So
it's just the truth of the matter is you could probably get 10 people to write their starting lineups, and none of them are going to be right, are they? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
They'll
all be different. None of them will be right.
I could probably write 10 starting lineups and get none of them right myself. Do all 10 myself. Do 10 different ones.
Yeah. I don't think he'll make too many changes, if I'm honest. I think Sheaf will come in. I think, but I don't see him making an awful lot of changes at the back.
Well, it looks like Thomason's good to go. It'd be interesting to see. I see him being on the bench.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he's good enough?
I do.
I don't know anything about him.
Hard to say, but I think he is. I mean, he ran their team, like he was their captain last year. So
Bolton?
Yeah, for Bolton. I know it was League One. I know it was Bolton, but still, to be the best player in a team in any league means you've got quality.
He wasn't their best player, though.
You don't think so?
My best mate's a Bolton fan, and
okay. Well. You don't have those.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. And he's a Bolton fan, bless him. No. He said he was their hardest working player, but he was nowhere near their best player.
Okay, then. Well, fair enough. I love this, Maddell. Hard to pick the lineup when you don't know the squad formation. We know the squad formation. It's the same every week.
I know the squad formation. I'm not even a Wrexham fan.
That's right. And Black Canvas is saying Sheaf has to start. Parky might switch things up with Hardy, as Moore Hardy don't seem to be clicking yet. I'd agree with that. Moore and Hardy together isn't going that well. I mean, we miss Windass.
I think Hardy's been getting a lot of stick.
I'm not blaming Hardy.
But here's the thing. I don't think he's been that bad. And actually, I think, honestly, up until he went off, I think he was our biggest threat on Saturday. I think he had a couple shots. He's getting into good places. He's just not scoring. That's his problem. If he was scoring those goals, it'd be a completely different conversation. But he's not scoring them. So, but he's getting there. I don't think he's been that bad. It's just the finishing hasn't quite been there. And people said, I know when we got him, a lot of people made a big deal about him. He's very streaky. He'll go for a while and not score, and then all of a sudden, he'll hit a run of 5 games where he'll get 4 goals. So
it's funny. Go back 12 months, Aaron. Remember how frustrated we were at our lack of being able to score goals?
It wasn't just that we couldn't score goals. It was just, we couldn't create a chance. We didn't even get shots. Like, it was just, we can do anything. Well, we're getting plenty of chances now. Just not.
Yep.
I mean, we're scoring. The problem is we're just letting everybody else score, 6 and 7.
Andrew C., that's a really funny that you bring that up. That's another conversation Wayne Evans and I had. There's full transparency down here in Australia in different codes when people get injured. What's your thoughts on this, boys, that the teams don't sort of say, well, look, he has got an ankle sprain and he's going to be out for 4 weeks. They don't, they sort of, it's all cloak and dagger. What's your thoughts on that?
It's kind of been like it. I mean, I do get it. I don't know whether it's a cultural thing with the game or not, but manager. I suppose it depends who the player is. It's probably the honest sort of reply to that. If you've got a player that's a key player that's out for a number of weeks or games, and that you aren't going to essentially want to tell. I mean, it's all for the upcoming game. It's never for the next 2-3 games. It's all for the upcoming game, because you don't want to show your hand that your best winger's out injured or your best fullback's out injured, because then the opposition know if they've had any game plans for that player or they've had any game plans to attack the other, all of a sudden it changes the whole tactical setup. I mean, the analysis that goes into opposition these days is absolutely freakishly mad. So, anything which can hinder a team's, preparation into a game, they're going to do it, aren't they? Some managers are a little bit more open than others, I think, but majority of them, I mean, yeah, our manager's the same. Like trying to get information out is like trying to get blood out of a stone. And it's we'll get the old he's nearly back in training, and then 3 weeks later it's like, oh, he should be back next week. It's like, okay, your definition of nearly is different to everyone else's. So
I love this one. On the news today, the formation is changing. It's in the papers. Well, if it's in the papers, it's definitely not true. It was made up. So
that was Josh went through it today on his show. I don't know if you saw it or not, but Parky was talking about it with
how did Josh do a show while he was at work?
He did it very early.
He did
because I was at work when he did it. So, but
Yep.
I mean, honest question: do you guys see him changing formation? I do.
Yes,
As a manager,
I do. No, it won't be a big change.
No,
I mean,
it'll still be 3 at the back.
yeah,
It'll be it's not. He's not going to switch to like 4 at the back. It'll be a slight variation. But he's already been going. He's already been leaning into it. I think when he brought in Windast and Broadhead, I think that was always his thought, is he wanted to do something a little different. It'll be the 3-4-2-1, I think.
Yeah.
And you're going to have Windast and Broadhead playing together. As soon as those two are able to play together, that's what I'm almost positive that's what he's going to do. If you go back to the Groningen game when we played against them over in the Dutch team we played against, that's the formation we played the whole 90 minutes. It was 3-4-2-1, and I think he always had an eye to doing that. It was also he did it for a good portion of the game against Wellington. I think he always had a mind to making a little adjustment there, and so it's not a huge. It's still 5 at the back, whatever, 3 back, whatever you want to call it with wing backs, but it's a little different. It'll be a little different.
If Matt L's right and it is a 4-4-2, I'll be shocked.
Honestly, I was going through the team today, just myself, and I think like a 4-3-3 actually fits our squad really well. A 4-3-3 or a 4.
Send the email to Parky, Aaron.
4-2-3-1, not bad.
Very naive question. If you play 4 at the back, who are your fullbacks?
Yeah.
It's going to be, for me, it would be, I would play Doyle as the left back.
Yeah.
And I'd still play Kabore as the right back, because he actually, for his national team, he plays the right back. Right. But then that frees up, you could play. I actually think, everybody's going to laugh at me, as a winger, I think McLean could do a job much better than he can as a wing back. So where he doesn't have.
Okay. Right. Yeah. Well, anyway, it's been great having Aaron on here today.
I didn't say I started, but as a winger, I think he'd be much better. You know what I mean? Because he still gets balls into the box. He does a good job. He's just not a fast. He ain't gonna be a pacey winger. But you know what I mean? But he's not a bad. If he didn't have to track back and defend, I think he'd be much better.
I actually do agree with that. I think if you would like say against Norwich, I wouldn't say I'd do it, but I could understand that.
I wouldn't even start. He wouldn't even be my first choice. But it was just looking at the squad overall, I think it actually does fit us pretty well. Like we could make it work.
Yeah, if you were playing up against a strong side, or if somebody was strong out wide, and you
Mhm.
wanted to play Doyle as, say, a left back in a 4, I could see that.
Yep.
But you could also protect him with McLean, because McLean, all right, he's not really gonna get back loads of times, but he's not really gonna get forward. But the one thing he will do is he'll work hard and run around and
Yeah.
close down. So
Mhm.
he will add that protection. So I could see that, but you'd be very, I would say you'd limit yourself from an attacking point of view on that flank. You know, I would say you're very rarely going to have a lot going
Yeah.
forward over there.
I think your best bet would probably play Longman as the winger, or actually, who am I kidding? Broadhead is
Mm.
probably the left winger if we're doing a 4-3-3.
Yeah.
And then or if it's a 4-2-3-1, you could play like Broadhead as the left wing, Windass as the 10, and then play Barnett on the right wing. I think there's so many options and so many different variations. I just do think it fits the squad all really well. He's not going to do that though. It'll be a 3 at the back. Yellow card. Yellow card.
I mean, the truth of the matter is, he won't deviate from the 3 at the back, because irrespective of what he wants to do, going from a 3 to a 4 completely changes how your team defends.
Yeah.
And as daft as it sounds, it is a major change. I remember listening to, I can't remember, it was a podcast where they had like a Premier League defender, and they had recently gone from a back 2 in a 4 at the back to a back 3, and he was saying it was like learning to defend all over again, because your positional play is completely changed. Instead of having a full back where he's usually to protect certain runs and certain positions isn't there anymore, and you have a wing back who notoriously is further up the pitch.
Yep.
So you have to cover a lot more of an area of ground and stuff.
I actually heard, and maybe I don't know if it's who you're talking. I think it was it Martin Keown on TalkSport the other day. Somebody was talking about they did that at Arsenal. I think it was Martin Keown. Somebody was talking about it, and he was talking about the change from a 3 to a 4, or I think they went from a 4 to a 3, and having it, like you were just saying, having to get out to cover. He said it was confusing because it was like, am I a fullback? Am I a center back? What am I? And the change was it was a big change for him.
That's my worry about changing the back line.
Yeah.
I can handle changes anywhere else on the pitch, but
I don't mind changing players. I just don't see him changing the.
No, yeah, and like I'm saying, I'm talking formation only, not players. Formation, because you've sort of embedded this every week into training. If you're going to go and change to a 4 at the back, that takes, like John just said, it's like learning to read and write again.
Yeah.
You know, it's a whole new ball game.
You know, the thing is, though, I wonder, with the players we brought in, would they be more comfortable in a 4? Maybe they'd rather be in a 4. You know what I mean? Who knows?
Yeah. Well, Hyam played in a 4, didn't he, for Blackburn?
Yeah.
But and Cody. But then again, you'd say Cody's played in a 3 for Leicester and for Wolves back in his day. So, but then again, didn't Doyle play left back for
He played
Norwich?
left back some for Norwich. He kind of switched. It depended on what if they're in a 3, he was playing the wide center back. But then if it was a 4, he'd play the left back. So yeah, he could do either.
I'm pleased you said Norwich correctly, by the way, Aaron. So.
Yeah.
Norwich.
Do you think the fact that Doyle played for Norwich, I'm going to try and say it I actually have to think about it to try and say it like Josh. Do you think if with Doyle having played for Norwich, that'll actually help us on the weekend?
No, I don't think so. A lot's changed, hasn't it?
Positive out of this, John.
No, I'm sorry, but a lot's changed. I mean, they got a new manager. It's a completely new style. So other than maybe knowing a few players, I'm not sure it's going to mean anything.
No, fair enough. Yeah, but I thought it may help him in defence, because he would have been on the training pitch with the attackers, like defending them, and he might know which way they tend and what their trends are in their moves. You know, they prefer to fake with the right and move to the left or whatever, how they like to make their plays.
He'll probably say to Cody, whatever you do, don't give Sargent any room. Yeah, thanks, mate. Didn't realise that,
Breaking news. Breaking news.
So, but I'm going to say I think Norwich have changed their style, haven't they? Because they've always been quite, in the past, they've always been sort of wingers and, a 4-3-2-1. I got a feeling they don't really play that. They build up more through the middle under Manning. So, yeah.
I just hope those Canaries haven't had their bird seed and they're in trouble on the weekend, even though I tipped them to win.
They're a bit like you, though, aren't they? They score a lot of goals, but concede goals as well.
Well, this year, you couldn't say that last year for us. But yeah, I know what you're saying.
So it'll be 0-0 now. I've said that, of course.
Yeah, 0-0.
Yeah,
Yeah, no one tipped a draw, interestingly enough, in that match. So that was interesting. We all tipped 2-1, except Aaron and Paddy tipped Wrexham to win, and you and I tipped Norwich to win, John. So, and we haven't got South America's or Harry's tips yet, but they're coming tomorrow, guys. So once I have their tips, I'll be putting the updated sheet in the Discord for the weekend so everybody can see what's going on. So yeah, but very interesting, very interesting. Well, I think, look, we've been going for just over an hour. How's that for timing?
Perfect.
So we probably should let John go back to bed and get his beauty sleep.
I wasn't in bed, actually.
Well, then you should get to bed and get your beauty sleep. Maybe wake up in November.
The way we're playing at the moment, mate, it wouldn't be a bad thing.
You think we can say any different?
Yeah, no doubt.
Well, I'm going to say, at least we don't lose too many. So.
Oh, yeah, that's low blow but fair. Low blow but fair. But anyway, guys, well, that's your Pundit Punts show for today. Tomorrow we have Tactical Fortitude. I'm sure Aaron has already done a lot of homework as well as Victor. And we're going to break down, obviously, what went wrong and then what we're going to do, this weekend, how we can try and get a result. Then we get into the weekend. We get into game day build-ups and games. And what time's your game on the weekend? Are you the normal time this weekend?
No, we're an early kickoff, which is really annoying. So it means it's an early Saturday for me.
Oh, I can get it. Oh, that's perfect for me. That's a 5 a.m. Saturday. Wait up, no, that's that one. Yeah, where are we? Oh no, even earlier.
Yeah, we're 12:30. Yeah, we're 12:30 on the Saturday morning. Should
be a good. Oh no, it's 9:30 in the evening for me. For you, nice evening game for me to settle in and watch Birmingham v Swansea. I think you're going to have a tough game, although you're at home, so you might get the win, but I've tipped a draw. So, yeah.
Haven't lost in like 27 games at home or something like that. So.
Oh, so you're due.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, yeah, we do. Yeah. But I would imagine you will all be supporting us against your rivals. So.
That's fair. Yeah. You need
fair.
to hop around a little bit.
Actually, I'm really torn now.
Man.
I don't know who to go for.
I mean, what are you talking about? You're the biggest Blues fan on this podcast.
There's just no way. I don't want either of these teams to. I want 7 red cards for each team.
So you want to draw then, I suppose.
Yeah, what did I tip? Let's have a look. I tipped a draw. I tipped a 1-1 draw.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the thing is, like, you think, well, I mean, look, Swansea are 7th on the table. Like, it's not like they're going badly. I mean, it's early days, I know, but still.
Yeah, beat them, we go above them. So
that's true. You do too. Yeah, you're only 1 point behind them. So yeah, big game. Big game. Well, boys, I think that'll do us for today.
Yeah.
I think, guys, hope you enjoyed the show. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, become a member if you want to. Spend that cup of coffee a month on us. And
hit the hype button. I mean, you can go back like the day after. Yeah, they got a new button. It's like a hype button. I don't know what the hell it does, but you can hit it, and apparently it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Hit the hype button.
Hype it up.
It sounds good, doesn't it? Hype. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah. So yeah. No. Well, there you go, guys. On that bombshell, hit the hype button, and we'll see you all again next time. Have a good one.